to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here at 444 Spearway. Oh, turn!
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time. The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show. Hey, Kellee, how are you?
Hi, James. Hi. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're wearing the same color.
The same color. I don't understand.
What did you call it? Seafoam green?
I think it's a seafoam green.
Yeah, me too. I've got the same
I
thing.
felt like doing that. Then
Me too.
That's just great.
Oh my gosh. Well, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm finally getting things finished, which is very nice.
Super.
And I'm planning on a tour. So my 65, a tour called 65 and Live. And I'm going to stop at 20 cities around the country. And that's starting June 25th through August 25th. And I'll be everywhere from Las Vegas to Nevada to Des Moines.
Chicago?
To Cleveland, to Buffalo, to Philadelphia, to Dallas, Texas.
And you'll be doing live events.
I'll be doing demonstrations. Yeah. I'm driving cross country in a van with my dog, Pearl. Pearl will be part of the event. She's going to be doing a couple of readings. No, for animals. But no, I'll bring her with me. And it's going to be a live video as well. I'll do video streaming too along the drive, bringing people on the drive. Going to go some interesting places, meeting interesting people. And it's going to be a little like fun stuff. It's going to be a little show.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait because I'm going to work with you in Chicago.
We're going to do a show in Chicago together. A live show in Chicago we're going to do together.
It'll be so fun. I'm so excited. Wow.
Yeah.
And somebody says, and Pearl will be the star of the show.
Well, we know that. We know that, yes.
That is the truth.
Yeah,
oh, my
true.
gosh.
So,
Hi, everybody.
I'm on my iPad again because I couldn't get my computer.
Oh, well, let me say hi to a few people because everybody's, hi, Marisol. Hi, Lori. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Kamakani. Wow. Hi, Mitzi, all the way from Zimbabwe, Jane.
Wow.
Yeah, she got up just in time to watch the show. Hi, Sue. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Kim Ann. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Marge. So everybody's writing in and saying where they're from.
Oh, good. Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, I can't see your comments. So, okay.
Well, and
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, please. Thanks for joining us. Oh, and Ann Margaret says, I'm wearing the same color. It's Alaska Seafoam Green in honor of Janelle Campbell, which is going to be so fun. Our guest tonight's going to be so much fun. Oh, my gosh. Well, should I do a little astrology first?
Before we started with our mediumship talk, yeah.
Because we have a great guest, everybody, but I thought I should share a little of the astrology of what's going on right now. So today is February 12th, 2024. And
which is a Monday.
Today is Monday.
And last Monday, and I asked you, you said we got to feel a lot of energy, everything's going direct. And it was really intense. It seemed to calm down at the end of the week. I don't know. It wasn't as intense, but what else is going on?
Well, it's about ready to get more intense.
Just when you think you're safe.
Just when you think you're safe. I mean, all the planets remain direct. Okay. So that's the great thing. All the way till April 1st, all planets are direct. This means it brings us great energy to make changes, great energies to do something new, to, start something new or bring something old back alive. This is the time to do it. It's a powerful, powerful time. So that's a positive side. Now, what I want to talk about is it started yesterday, and for the next, until about the 20th of February, we have a Mars-Pluto conjunction, and it's in Capricorn in Vedic astrology. And that makes things very intense. And the exact conjunction is the next couple of days. So what happens is Mars is a trigger point for war. It's a trigger point for energy. And in a conjunction, it's right next to, this time, Pluto. And Pluto is all about transformation and change. And it's the hidden planet. It's like a secretive planet. And then all of a sudden, things happen. So the next, for several days, actually, it won't surprise me if wars start up again or continue, get greater, something like that. Because this is a very
Kellee, what
powerful
about
time.
land changes like earthquake the other day in
Could
LA?
definitely be earthquakes. Didn't you
Yeah.
have one? Or I think there was one in not in
LA,
Los Angeles.
4.6 in LA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, definitely earth changes. Definitely. Well, they're having a big storm tomorrow on the East Coast. I mean, major storm. So these are the kind of things that this energy can bring out. So absolutely, it's going to be something. So, but I do have some amazing good things to talk about. So here's the thing. On yesterday was the 11th of February, and Venus, the planet of love and relationships and finances, I should say, it transited into Capricorn in Vedic astrology. And so
Was that during the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl?
during the Super Bowl. Funny you would say that, during the Super Bowl. So it's in Capricorn. Well, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And it turns out, James, that Venus and Saturn are best friends. They actually get along really, really well.
Oh.
So what this means is for Valentine's Day and for love and for relationships, they're going to take a more serious tone. Maybe things will get, relationships will get more serious. And so it's kind of an extraordinary time during this period of time when Venus goes into Capricorn. It just brings more seriousness to relationships.
Can an opening of dates and partnerships start?
Absolutely. Could make partnerships really come together.
Oh, good, because I have a date.
Oh, I didn't even. Okay, I have to put a pin in that because I do want to find out more about that.
And it's not at the dog park.
Oh, well, so excited. I can't wait to hear. So tomorrow on February 13th, it's a really powerful day, James, because tomorrow the sun in Vedic astrology moves into Aquarius. Now, what's important about that is tomorrow, it's said the first day that the sun moves into Aquarius, they say in Vedic astrology that Lord Vishnu comes down and blesses the world with a fresh purpose and stability. It's like a fresh dose of that. And it actually means spiritual rebirth. So tomorrow's a very special day. It's right. But then on Valentine's Day, it's also an extraordinary day because this Valentine's Day, unlike the rest of them, this particular February 14th, it also is what's called Vasant Pachami Day. And that means it's dedicated to Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and music and arts and science. And it's on the Vedic lunar calendar, it's a very special day because it means anything that we initiate on that day, and I'm talking about Valentine's Day, it's said to have a fortunate long-term outcome. So if you're going to start something, this is an extraordinary time to start something new. So there you go.
Wow.
Okay, and you have a new date. I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that later.
Okay. Well, with Saturn, it could have karmic influence too.
Yeah, most of my relationships have been karmic. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I've never done this sort of a thing. It's really not a date. It's speed dating. I'm going to do a speed dating thing.
Okay.
A friend of mine said, you should really try it out. I'm like, really? Okay. So when someone asks, what do you do for a living? I'm going to say, I'm a landscape architect.
Yeah. As soon as you say medium, it's like this. It's hysterical.
Author. They said, what kind of books? You get caught. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I know.
That'll take out 3 minutes up right away.
You're right. Oh my God, I was so lucky when I met Don because my family was like, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Remember that in the book? Don't tell him. Oh yeah. They followed us on not the first 9 dates. Yeah.
I remember the story. Yeah. I know your whole life, Kellee.
Good.
And I will finish your preface this week. It's coming along really nicely. Very happy with it.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's bring on our very special guest.
Yes. Well, the guest tonight is Janelle Campbell. And I met Janelle, she'll probably tell us, 15 years ago. I'm not sure. In Ireland. I was teaching there. And she was a student. And little did I know, but I felt that she was very, very good. And Janelle is someone who, just one of the examples, before speaking about her, trying back, I took her, I didn't know her, but I took her in front of the class, said, stand up, please. And she stood up and put her back to the class. And I put a blindfold around her, and she didn't know what was going on. But we just got along very well. And I said, now make a contact with the spirit world. And she did. She made a contact with a mother, and she got more information. And the recipient who belonged to was in the audience, and the recipient could not say a word. I was to answer yes or no, and I would be all over the room. So I said yes or no, and I said, as you're continuing moving on, and she was doing very well, I said, I want you to let the spirit move you to the location where the recipient is. So, and she couldn't turn, she had to backwards, she had to step backwards, and I would help guide her not to hit anybody. She went right in front of the recipient.
Wow.
Out of 40, 50 people in the room.
Wow.
Very gifted medium. She also attended Kellee and mine, our Alaska cruise. She's the trio of us, and the three of us. Well,
we've traveled all over the world, actually.
That's right.
You did this also with her in Tahiti.
In Tahiti, that's right.
Yeah.
In Tahiti, we did that. That's exactly.
It was amazing.
Right. And then I went to my trip, my tour trip in Europe, where I got the second level of COVID. Janelle was my partner, who really was an incredible being, incredible friend. Flew up again from Australia just to be with me. And Janelle and I got sick in Europe together. And we did a tour of all the pharmacies in Europe. That's a week. So please welcome our good friend, Janelle Campbell. Welcome, Janelle.
Hello.
Hello.
There was so much I was wanting to scream about while you were speaking.
Were you terrified when he blindfolded you? And
Oh, well, yes and no. You know, I've come to expect it now, of course. You know, I get led all over the place with blindfold. That's another story.
Yeah.
The late show, I think we'll save that one for.
We just have great fun. We have great fun.
We have had a lot of fun, and we all have had a lot of fun together over the years.
We all had fun.
Right. But, you know, you go along to these you know, seminars and whatever. And, you know, I come so far from Australia to go to these things. And it was a case of, well, I'm going to put my bloody hand up and, you know, say, yes, I will do that. So that's what you have to do.
Yeah, courage. You have
and a lot of people don't, though. A lot of people don't.
I know. Yeah. So anyway,
and
so I was
been with me through all of my tours and different workshops and different mediums and all different types. We had so many different experiences. We even did the tour of London together on the top of a bus.
Oh my God. Freezing cold.
on our pharmacy tour. And
it's not pharmacy
poor
tour.
Janelle couldn't speak because she lost her voice.
Oh my God.
No, what happened once was a great story with us. We were, Kellee, I don't remember this, went to Costa Rica. I was doing an event in Costa Rica, and Janelle said, she'd go with me. I said, great. And we got to Costa Rica, and I started the workshop, and I lost my voice. So I cried in 2 days. So Janelle had to get up to another transfer.
I was doing it telepathy. You know, we were having a telepathic moment.
Terrible.
And you should have put a blindfold around him.
No, we put a gag on him, though.
Yeah. And then we got back to the U.S., back home, and Janelle lost her voice.
It was my turn then.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, we've had some fun and silliness, and you know,
and that's really a part of it. That the three of us we get along really well, understand very well. That you can't take it all so seriously because, you know, when you realize there's no death, it's a beautiful, loving thing. But I think the three of us don't take it overly so seriously as most people do. What you think? What do you think, you guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, we're not stuck in that.
We laugh a lot at the human conditions and
we sure
human
do.
behavior. We laugh a lot about that. Yeah.
How people take things they think are so important and they're really not, but they make it so important. Yeah. And it's really not. It's a human condition, I just say, Kellee. And it's the experiences that those souls are having, and just that's who they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janelle, how long have you been doing mediumship for?
Probably about 15 years or 16 years or more now. Yeah, around that.
And what brought you into it? I know you lost your husband. I know that.
Yes.
Did that bring you into it, or before that you were into it?
Yeah, well, obviously, things that I understand now, of course, from childhood, you know, and literally from birth, which is extraordinary to think that little toddlers can have those memories and experiences, but I'm sure we've all had them. But remembering them, you know, over the years, and past life experiences, both in dream, but also in my waking mind. Now, that's pretty trippy. You know, when you have those, it's like your brain cracks open and you're in another space. It's very odd, but they were all signposts along the way, to be honest, to get me to this point. And so when my husband passed, he was the catalyst, and I thought, well, all right, you bugger, I'm going to come and find you. I know you're there. So, and that's really, and it happened very, very fast from that.
Did you know ahead of time he was going to pass? Did you have an inkling he was going to leave? Did you ever, when you met him?
Yes, on my wedding day, James, I knew my second husband. He was my second husband, was going to die.
How
did you know that? Was it just a feeling overcame?
I just had an intuitive kind of sense about it. And weirdly, on my wedding day to my first husband, I knew we would divorce.
Wow.
So I knew that too on my first husband, but so that part was easy, but the death part, that's extraordinary.
Crazy. So I'm taking names now for my third husband, if anyone's interested.
Let me tell you what, the third is the best.
Oh, good. Thanks, Kellee.
I'll let you know after my dates.
I know. We don't want to do a show. We just want to chat, don't we?
So what are you doing now, Janelle? And what should people know about you besides how great and fun you are and loving you are and what a great, incredible medium you are. And Janelle, let me say this, has been involved in learning from all different mediums from all around the world, and I guess taking the best you can that you resonate with and using that, correct?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing now. So, throughout the years that I've been teaching, you discover a lot along the way, and you realize that people don't have the resources they need or access to some of the most amazing people on the planet. And, whereas we've all traveled to do these things, we don't have to do that so much now. So, I'm very blessed and grateful to have you and Kellee and people like Tony Stockwell and Lynn and beautiful Lauren Rainbow and, all sorts of people that are coming into this world of mine and offering their support through our new teaching hub called Spirit Ambassadors International. And that is an international...
What is that?
It's called...
Yeah.
You just threw that in.
It's like a hub that everyone comes together to learn and to explore their spirituality and learn new things. People, I've already put like 20 films, what are they called? Modules.
Like videos.
20 odd modules from early psychic, beginner psychic through to mediumship and Deming mediumship already on the page.
So is your organization that you put together?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Most definitely. So, and so we're going to be doing live sessions as well. So it's really important that people come together and interact with the actual teachers and all these beautiful luminaries from all over the place. So, so it's a work in progress, of course, but it's very creative and very ethical, because we all know that in the online community, it's a bit crazy out there. So, so other teachers will come in, people you do know and people you don't know, will come in and offer their service as showcasing their work. So you can then move into perhaps some of their teachings and further education with them. So there's a lot of resources. It's not just about come here and stay here. It's about come here and expand and open your mind and your eyes to what's really going on this beautiful planet of ours.
It sounds like it's a library, and you go there and a reference library.
Yes, it's a huge reference library and learning hub and interaction. It's a community, James. We all know that how important community is now, and really, online we're just so insular, but it's important to have friendship and create safe environments to work.
And like-mindedness too. You'll have a community of like minds, people coming together.
Exactly.
And it's international too. So
international,
all over the world.
Yes, we don't discriminate. So we're just going to put it out there. And because, all my beautiful mentors and people I love, are international people. So why wouldn't I utilize those lovely people and friends and come together?
Well, one thing I want to say about Janelle, everybody, is talk about integrity. She's one of the most integrous people I've ever met. And the people that you'll draw to you are the ones with integrity, because she has a really good BS meter, and she will not. Janelle will not put up with anything which is below the line. She's all above, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You and I both share. We all three of us share
we
that.
both have that.
Oh, yeah.
We have that.
We know right away, but that's one thing.
Right. Yeah, right. Good.
Right.
Yeah, but it's important. We have to be grounded. We have to know our job, be real, keep it real, know our work, and have a good backing, good education behind us, so then we can take it with integrity and I don't know, proper learning.
And are you having reincarnation stuff, past life stuff?
We're having everything, James. Yes, there's going to be people on the Luminaries program, spotlight programs. We've got lots of luminaries from all different modalities. Obviously, there's lots of mediumship and the psychic senses, but I've got a shaman putting some work together for me. And he does a really interesting modality of Peruvian shamanism. And that's my very, a short story of that, which is really interesting. And yes, past life, I've got a lady in mind to ask along to offer.
We get asked a lot about past life.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, it's really interesting. And, also our extraterrestrial beings, all our beautiful star beings. And I've got some business stuff in there as well, because people don't know what to do. Once they're starting the journey, they want to get a few tips on how to then push it forwid. So
how to have a business with it, you mean?
Yeah, have a business with it. But we've got and I'm talking a lot, but we do have an IT, we've got a really interesting program for professionals there as well. Plus, there's another lady coming in to do chats about putting your social media together and how to work online. Great. Yeah, and how to work online and promote yourself online. So there's a lot of things there, and it will grow and it will change as it grows. And but there's so much, in here that's just bubbling to come out. So
will you be doing teaching yourself?
Yes, most definitely. Yes. So the modules I've got are me, like they're evergreen modules. So they'll be there. They're mine. And, but I will be doing live sessions as well. So master classes and different teaching modalities as well, but bringing in guest teachers too, because it's not just, we need a bit of a smorgasbord on who's out there and the different things that are being taught, so
the diversity and also the newness of mediumship. But if we just take mediumship, it's changing so much. Technology, and it's like 10 years ago, very different than nowadays. I mean,
completely different. And I think we have to keep up with it too. It's so hard to keep up with the new stuff. There's
and the social media part, keeping up with that.
God, it's crazy.
And really, when you think about it too, how fast everything is getting, and us being media, we fast, but it's getting faster and faster and faster. But we have to adapt to that, don't we?
Yes, exactly. But I think we're very lucky in as much as we don't have to do the groundwork anymore. We're established, we're ethical, we have a lot of experience behind us. And I think with our with that experience in the decades that we accumulate here, it's a really good opportunity to help bring up the newbies or people that aren't so sure about where to look. So, but we have to keep up with social media and advertising. That's our problem.
I'll tell you what, Janelle, your timing on this is so auspicious because in April, on April 20th, we have a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus that come together, and it's going to change the way spirituality has been. So you're really right at the precipice of this. Excellent timing. Excellent to do this, because we're going to see so many people that want to explore this avenue. That, like James, when you started this 40 years ago, it was kind of restricted, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, very limited, very, very limited. Not spoken about at all. Really. I was afraid to tell anybody I saw dead people. I ran out of my job, and I was afraid to tell. I couldn't tell anyone anything. I talked to my original teacher, the man medium who got me started, because he's the only that could understand what I was saying, because I thought I was going crazy.
Well, that's why you were the one I had to speak to, James, when I was going through mine too. I said, no, it can only be James. He's the only one that's going to understand this. So really what you're doing, Janelle, is taking the work of all of this, so many years, and putting it together in a living library.
All our work, you know, because it's showcasing all of us, and it's a really interesting environment and different. It's changing.
But one thing I have to say, I'm going to say it again because I can't stop saying it, is the three of us, I will say, are very grounded people. We're very down to earth, very real, and we're not up with the fairies. You know, we're really black and white, down to earth.
Yeah.
And that, I think, learning this information, which will be so out there, and to do it in such a way we're so integrated with grounding and being of the earth and being part of the earth and also being open-minded, it makes a big difference in learning and taking it.
And making it accessible to everybody in a way that they can understand it, and that it's not weird and creepy and love and light and all that sort of BS, basically.
And Janelle, when did you start this? Just recently?
This is just a brand new thing. So we're launching it now in these last couple of weeks. We're just starting to get it out there. So it's really a drive to tell people, you know, that something does exist that you might be interested in, and to and take a look. So you might,
and if people are interested, they go to your website and register email. Is that
yes. I've got it's called spiritambassadorsinternational.com, and it might be there. Renee might put it up.
Renee, did you put the link up, Renee? Because it should be here.
It might be there somewhere. But we're offering a lovely package too, so we can talk about that later if you like. So.
And we have to be involved to the premiere party.
Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah.
You what?
We have to be invited to the premiere party.
Oh, of course, love, of course. You know, champagne glasses at 50,000 miles.
I might be moving there, so hey.
Yes, well, I'll just might keep you to that. So,
I would ask you a question, which a lot of people probably want to know about. Besides the academy, your own personal journey, the mediumship. When you first started, one of the hardest things for most mediums, developed mediums, is confidence. How did you gain confidence in the beginning? How did you get through that?
Yeah, you just practice. And you get through it, because you have to practice with people for a start, one-on-one practice, or if it's a group situation, but and just trusting, yourself that this information is coming from an external place. It's not your mind thinking weird things. It's not. And you just gradually get used to that. And with practicing with somebody else, you are able to get acknowledgement and reference points and all sorts of things. And you become more aware of the subtleties of your mediumship and your consciousness, because we have two consciousnesses, really. We've got the earthly brain sort of consciousness, and we have this soul consciousness, which is where we derive our power from. So really practice and trust.
And how much of it do you think is believing in yourself?
You have to really. We get a lot of barrages, don't we? We get a lot of stuff piled on top of us. So from all sorts of places. So we have to be very secure and grounded in our own person, within our own humanness, and so I think once you start to release the fear, and as my lovely friend always says, what other people think of you is none of your business. I'm telling you, James, as soon as I kind of got that, the penny dropped, and I went, oh my God,
a lot of people
right?
Far out, But of course I want to start swearing now because it's so exciting. It's just it's so
it's
true.
an opening. It's just an opening to many.
It's incredible, and we cop it even now. There's jealousy and bitching and carrying on even within our industry. And it's just insane. And so the whole idea is to kind of get out of that and let's come back into our truthful soul self and be decent humans.
Let me ask you on a mediumship question, if you don't mind, Janelle. When you enter a reading, what's your procedure? How do you start getting involved in it, whether it's a DEM or it's a one-on-one?
Yeah.
What's your process?
Yeah. So if it's a DEM, I try to stay quiet most of the day. Let's say it's in the afternoon or evening. Not engage too much with the world around me. In other words. But of course, we all fall into the let's just check social media thing, but whatever. But I try to stay very much inside my own, in my own senses. But so I just start to breathe. I breathe deeply into my heart space, let go, ground, do whatever you want to do. If it's a meditation, do that. But, nowadays you just breathe into that space, and when the head goes to the heart space, you understand that, you feel that palpably. And then I just transform the consciousness within me and around me. And I love the idea of, and I got it from this lovely James Van Prague teacher once upon a time, the star that comes
that's a
down
good
through
one.
the crown.
Yeah.
And it does. I just think of it, and it comes through the crown,
It works.
hits my heart,
Works.
and I'm on. And we just think about it now, and we can feel the essence of spirit. But you must be in that space first of all.
I don't know, Kellee, did you ever? I think Kellee, you did see the Tony Stockwell.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Janelle, I don't know if you saw this Tony Stockwell piece that Heidi sent me. It was really fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where he said, if you're thinking as a medium, you're not a medium because you're in the human mind. You're thinking, but the way you should approach it is, and I thought this was so incredible. And he said, when you're in a meditation, Tony goes.
I love Tony.
So loves, he says. And in meditation, when you come out of the meditation, you feel flowing and loving. He goes, that's the way you should be.
That's it.
That's the way you should start a message, because you're there and you're not thinking about it, and you just got to let it flow through you.
I also loved what he said, James, and I was telling you this earlier. I love that he talks about shutting your eyes. Don't even look. Just shutting your eyes when you go into it. That for me is so helpful. That's the way I always did it. Always. And my mother would say, open your eyes. That's not good. Open your eyes. And then it kind of screwed me up.
The difference, Kellee, in that is this. It's very interesting, because many times I've been through many teachers, even Lynn Probert has taught this as well. It depends on the student, of course, person. And when you see a student, a newbie, shutting their eyes, it's because they're thinking usually.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because
I didn't put that together. Yeah.
When I close my eyes, I say, don't close my eyes if you're thinking. But another way to do it without doing that, which I did this many, many years ago, and then Tony also talked about, is when I'd sit there in that quiet and get into that space, I'd shift my gaze to a part of the room, to the floor or to the wall, and I would just put my mind there and let the spirit come in. And that was another great way. Just like when you're taking a shower, or you're reading a book, or driving a car. You're not thinking, you're opening yourself
it's
up.
Like a daydream, isn't it? It's kind of a daydream state. Yeah. And really we work in, we're bringing more altered state, the idea of altered state into mediumship now. And, I find I am, and you can bring the beauty of the spirit person alive that way and speak their words, it's remarkable.
And you're having trance in your academy too, yes?
Yeah, we're having everything, James. We're having lots and lots of stuff. So I've got to put some trance modules on there, but I've got them ready, and bring in different teachers that will talk about that too. So
I'm just curious. What do you feel that your greatest clair is when we talk about?
That's good.
Mine originally was I was clairaudient, very clairaudient.
Really?
Very much so. And I would, it's that telepathy kind of thing of words and language that would filter through my brain and thoughts. And I think it's too because as a trained musician and singer, that's a very hearing based
auditory thing,
and so it's through the ear and the throat, so all that works together. That's our clairaudient capacity, I guess. So that was my strong point, and it took me a long time to settle with that, because all the other students when I was learning around me were going, and I can see this and I see that, and I wasn't seeing a damn thing, I couldn't see anything.
But it's natural for you to hear. It's
natural to hear. Very much, and speak, you can tell, but it's and writing, of course, like I would then, when I first started, transfer all those thoughts that were, flowing through my mind onto paper. So I knew it wasn't crazy. It wasn't my thought. So
And is it still clairaudient, or is it changed?
Yes, it's still clairaudient predominantly, but of course, very much clairsentient. And I think that's really important, more than most things, if I can say that. And I've learned to see differently. I find it in a different pathway. So, and I am.
I interrupt you, Janelle. I remember we were in Ireland together. Excuse me. Recently, we were in Ireland and we did the tour, and you helped. And I said you want to do a little message, and you did. And you did one that the gentleman in the first row, Steve, right? Remember Steve?
Steve, yes, lovely Steve.
Lovely Steve. And you described, and both of us actually did a reading for him, I think it was. I think
we
both
did.
And then when you brought through, I think it was his grandmother's mother, and you talked about the pot of soup, and you described what you were seeing.
Yes.
So real that everybody in that room could see that pot of stew or that soup.
It is amazing how it kind of transforms, but you also, while you're speaking and imagining all these amazing things, your body just naturally wants to stir the pot, so to speak, doesn't it? Or walk in a certain way, or lift an arm. So you're feeling it on all sorts of levels, It's not just one thing. The deeper you get into it, the more things start to open up.
Kellee, you work differently though than that.
Well, no, I'm clairaudient mostly.
You're
also.
clairaudient.
Yeah, and my family's they're all musicians. I was not a musician at all. I speak it, but because I understand them. But for me, I'm clairaudient, but also clairsentient. And I was just thinking, I had somebody the other day. I did a session for somebody, and the aunt came through, and all of a sudden I found myself on Zoom like this, going right up and speaking in this tone like this. It had nothing to do. And she said, that's exactly what my aunt did. I mean, it was, how you feel it, and then you move right into it, whether you're stirring a pot or you're doing whatever. Yeah, it's interesting.
With you, Kellee, I noticed it and we did a night together of reading, which is really still amazing. We did that last week. Kellee and I did a whole night of readings. And I noticed with observing you that when you get something, you really get it strongly, and you got to say it strongly.
Yes.
You got to get it out.
Yeah.
I noticed that throughout the whole thing. Is that because? What is that? Why is that? Is it that the personality coming through, or is that just the way you deliver it? Or
it's a good question. It just feels like the energy has to come out.
Has to come out. You have to get out then.
Yeah. Just.
Yeah,
it's very forceful too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we say, it's the subtlety when we're learning, but once we've got that, it's really.
James, it's really funny. I was diagnosed ADD a long time ago, and ADD people have to burst it out. So I don't know if that plays a part in it. It might, as I think about it. But when I get that energy, it's like.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I know. I understand. You do too, Janelle.
Oh, yes. And I think our personalities as well. I think, we have to go with our personality. Don't try and be somebody else that you've seen on television or something. Just be you. And your natural personality starts to work. The more confident you get, you start to rise from within it too.
And the question I have for you and for Kellee. First, you, Janelle. I know you said more clairsentient, but how has your mediumship shifted or changed in the past several years?
Well, it becomes, more in tune with the spirit world and consciousness and the rate at which information is given now. It goes very fast, and I just find that I'm able to pick up more subtleties within the transformation or the contact. And it builds, like we still build all our mediumship changes all the time. And we've all spoken about that privately, different things.
Yeah.
But it does change. And so it just, something else comes in. And is it something that's in the ether that the spirit world wants you to send to the community? Is it? We do that.
And Kellee, how has yours changed? Has yours changed?
The subtleties, the nuances, the energy. Although I speed it up, I have more control over it. I can slow it down. And I can speed it up. It's just changed. as I grow into it, it's changed.
Yeah, we're always opening, we're always changing. I for myself, I think I over the past 2 or 3 years, I guess it would be, I've allowed, I guess we'd say allow, a surrender, allowed myself to let them come in closer and closer, closer. And I really try to get so out of the way. And it's working, and they're getting closer and closer. And then as I do that, I remember to tell all the recipients as well, as you guys have, that, just because people have passed over does not mean they have the secrets of the universe and they're not process of communication necessarily.
Exactly.
So we work and they work.
Yeah.
Well, also, James, you and I were talking today about this. The spirit world knows who needs to contact you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
We discussed that because we, and Janelle, I'm sure this happens to you, of course, all mediums out there, where you get a client and they go, I want to talk to my dead husband, or I want to talk to my dead son, or whatever. And you really can't control that. And I was telling you earlier, because the spirit world knows what's going on. They're in charge. And there might be someone in that world that needs to come through. I was telling Kellee an example I had. It was in Lilydale back 10, 15 years ago. And it was about 700 people. And it was a summertime. And I remember the first reading was a gentleman that came through. He had to speak to a girl in the audience who said it was his neighbor when they were younger. She was younger, and he lived across the street. He named the name of the street, which is exactly what it was. And he had to come through because he had apologized for abusing her when she was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And that was many, many years ago. And that spirit held on to that for that long.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity for them to help bring this person through whose mind was suffering. And so he could move on, she could move on. And it was a healing for everyone in that audience who
had been abused. Absolutely, James.
It is amazing.
So
I did a reading.
them.
Sorry, John. Sorry.
We've got to give it up to them to take care
Yeah,
of it.
you do. And, I've also experienced where I've had, we've all had the same client come several times over a period of time. And it was an abuse situation. But the girl had to deal with herself. So plus the abuser was in the spirit world. So we had to come together. And it took actually a couple of years before the girl that was here, the client, and the spirit man was comfortable enough, and perhaps me, comfortable enough to come together to say the words that needed to be said and acknowledge the healing and the support that by her accepting him now from the spirit world, that offers him healing and the great regret, and he understands, so, and the healing then that it offers the person that you're talking to. It's a very complicated kind of thing.
It's very interesting because when people pass over, there's that life review and you all see what.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I told Kellee this, I don't think I told you, Janelle, I don't think I mentioned on the show either, that when the Queen died, and I was wondering what was going on with her, and I heard really, really clearly, it was like 2 days after she passed, she is lying in the Hall of Sorrows.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I remember you told me that. Yeah.
Of Sorrows. So I don't know, but I'm assuming that might be, life review, Hall of Sorrows, things you should have done, couldn't have done. And she was in, a political space there, but that was very interesting. I've never heard that term before.
It's amazing. It is amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is interesting the terms we are able to hear. And I think one of the things that is happening, James, to your mediumship is you're hearing more from the other side about what other things go on or bigger things. Like that Hall of Sorrows is huge.
That's huge. Yeah, I'm expanding. I think it's really important as mediums that every time, and I teach this in my classes, that every time you sit or you have a recipient or do a demonstration, you always ask Spirit to give you something in a different way. Expand your mind in a different way to get information, how they can communicate, just being open to that process and let them allow to use you in a certain way. Sometimes people use certain gestures and my mother used to do that, or expressions. So I think it's really, to me, it's an art of discovery. It's like, wow, curious. How are they going to work today?
Right. Do either of you guys, before you do a session with anybody, and I know you don't do too many individual sessions, James, but before you go on stage or any of that, do you guys ever have a dream or dreams about the clients the night before?
Oh, that's interesting. Janelle, you
Not
go.
so much for me, not so much, because I used to find that it would wear me out, and I'd be then constantly thinking about it or whatever. But no, I leave it right till the very last second mostly.
I haven't had dreams, Kellee, but and I we discussed this when it's happened to us, where I'd see something the day of a demonstration.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Mavis and I were doing a demonstration. Mavis is a good friend of all of ours, who was a very well-known medium in England, and her and I were going to a demonstration in Los Angeles, and I had to drive in the freeway. So we're driving, and all of a sudden we see a red, white, and blue balloon. It comes right into the far lane, right, bounces off the windshield, and it goes. And she goes, "We're going to be using that. That's going to be part of the demonstration." Okay, and you don't question Mavis because she knows.
Yeah.
Sure enough, one of the last messages was a little boy who died, and his parents. He said to his parents, "Thank you for the white, red, and blue balloon," which they gave off in his service. So I tend to see things the day of, or as Janelle said earlier, keeping my mind open to whatever happens. Then the spirit world might use those references in the connection that evening.
Of course, yeah.
Wow. That's
nice. It's crazy how they work with us.
Let me ask you this something because we can only ask mediums. Do either of you find that as you're working with a spirit, that you see the spirit personality of the lifetime, this lifetime, that their loved ones talk to, but they're way beyond that, and you see there's so much more to them than just this?
Yes.
Totally.
Even yesterday that happened to me, and it's very hard to convey that.
Yes. Yeah.
To say, look, well, I know this isn't evidence,
exactly, but
blah blah blah, and they're in a different space now, in their thinking and what they are, not who they are.
I mean, their human personality is so small compared to where they are.
It's almost insignificant.
And they come back and remember things 30 years ago or 40 years ago. How do you expect that from? It reminds me of those Russian dolls, take one off the other. All those levels or so many.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's very true, and I think our mediumship changes within that. When we first start, it's all about the nuts and bolts and the dynamic of the spirit person, but really it changes. Our consciousness then wanders to a greater phase of what spirit actually is.
So Janelle, what do you think the other side looks like?
Oh, I think it can look like anything you want, James.
What is your other side look like?
I think it's a holographic kind of experience for a start, and I think there are many layers of the holographic experience. So and I think it depends on your belief and what you experienced in life and how you think in life as to where you go. So is there a spirit?
And you're also very much involved with other worlds and
yes.
We limited people call them UFOs, right?
That's right. I know.
Those other beings. You're very much involved in that, right?
Very much so. Very much so. And they come into your work anyway. I think they're guides. I think they're
completely.
And we may not see them as whatever being or universe or wherever direction they come from. They might appear as a guide, but
absolutely
in human form until our mind starts to expand. And Kellee and I had a great conversation a few weeks ago about this.
We're planning on teaching a class on starseeds.
Starseeds, definitely.
Because I think it's so important that people do that. In fact, James, when we did this a reading the other day for a woman, remember, and I said, "Oh, you're definitely not from here. You're a starseed." And she said, "Well, tell me about my guide." And before we could even finish the conversation, James, and we said something about silver. And then you said, and we both were like, and lots of the whole, what did you say? A whole realm of them around.
It's amazing.
Oil coats and and I've seen that. And it's so hard for them, that level, to get down to this human way. We say we're from the Legion or from the light world or whatever you want. But it's just they're trying to relate to the humans. Humans can't relate.
Right. We're very third dimensional, and even though I think that we kind of expand into the fourth dimension as well, especially as mediums, it's this dance backwards and forwards, and they do have a lot of trouble coming in,
True.
to that space and especially if we're cranky or frustrated with our work, then they've got no room. Same as a spirit person, they've got no room to come in. None.
Well, let's talk about that. When you're a medium, you cannot be cranky or in a bad mood or any of that. Forget it.
It has to go in its box, doesn't it?
No, seriously. So on those days, you have to be very calm and loving, as you were saying.
It's so funny, Kellee.
Space.
I think it's so funny how our lives, really, when you look back at them, how they prepare us for what we're going to do in our lifetime. I think that I was raised Catholic, and I would go to church every Sunday with my mother and the choir, and look at the altar, and I was fascinated with, I don't know what the prayers are all about, and getting that, it's like eating blood, eating body, drinking blood. But what I loved was the sacredness of it, how they prepare the altar, how the voices. And I found that when I do my mediumship from day one, it was always a sacred experience.
Yeah.
And I would prepare the space. It was an altar, but I would certainly prepare that space that something special was going to happen, and I had to be in that space as well. If there's anything about me, I wasn't doing the work. I wasn't being that connection, that vessel for that.
It's very true.
It's such sacred work, isn't it?
It's sacred work.
Actually, funny you say that. When I used to sing and do different competitions and things, if there was a sacred section, a sacred song, that would always bring me in. You know, I loved the sacred music, and I still do. I still like early music and sacred music, but not so much, the religion of it, but the sense that it brings you.
Well, are you going to be using music in your academy? You're going to have like some kind of chants or some kind of music, or there are some mediums that use music.
Or bowls, or
it'll have to come in, I think, because I think we can move into another world. I hadn't thought of that just yet, James, but I will put that on the list.
You have a great voice. She has an incredible voice, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, lovely.
We were having
a play.
She doesn't like to sing with me in London, but she's.
we did a thing in Switzerland. We had a moment.
We had a moment in Switzerland.
And Gordon and I took over a bar somewhere in Switzerland.
Right.
We were singing
I left
piano music.
Taxi cab, like, oh no, Gordon.
It was so funny. James had an appointment elsewhere, and Gordon and I got hammered. So I'll just say if I'm allowed.
And you guys had the best time, you said. Yeah.
We had a really good time. So anyway,
you had
that's
a piano player? Yeah.
Yes, we had a piano player and everything. So
that's great.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Oh, that's hysterical.
So who knows?
And let me ask you about your academy again. Like, when is it? When do you see this getting fully going? It's just starting.
Well, we're starting now, and over it's open. It's there, so everybody can see. Yes, I'll be.
So sign up, everybody. Get email.
Sign up, everybody. You're also gifting everybody with something.
I am indeed.
Oh,
yeah. So tell us all about that.
You can come, James. You can go.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm doing a free spirit messages demonstration on the 24th for our American friends, Friday the 24th of this month. So that's next week, the end of next week, at 7 p.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And in Australia, that same dem will be on the Saturday, the 25th, at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, daylight savings time here in Sydney. So I've given the link to Renee. So
it's right there.
We can put it up, and on the thread here. And so if people just go to that, click that, you're more than welcome to come along. All the more the merrier. And there's a few little a bundle of little gifts is there as well. So we've got some surprises on the night after the dem. So,
great,
Janelle. So, it's all happening.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah,
that's great.
It was nice to give back, and then open people with to an opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
Good for you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mitzi Carruthers says, don't forget Zimbabwe. That's where she is.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I think we have a few Australian listener watchers today as well. People,
we do. I've seen a lot of people from Australia
really
here
nice.
today.
Yeah, it's nice. So hello, my loves.
I love Aussies. My God, I love them. I remember the first time I was in the demonstration was Olympic Stadium in the whatever.
Oh, that was Panthers. Oh no, that was no. Sorry.
Sydney.
Homebush.
Homebush.
Can you imagine 75,000 people?
75,000 people. And it was full.
Far out. Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
And I had to make up extra time because something happened. I had to make it an extra hour, and I got food poisoning.
Oh, yes.
But I remember one of the things was so funny because there was a guy all the top, and he's like saying something. Would you get me a beer? It was so funny.
Oh my
But
gosh.
the audience, the questions they were asking were so beyond anything I've ever heard in any other audience around the world. And it's like, well, you people are aliens. You're all a bunch of
Yeah,
aliens.
well, you know, we're all
You
special.
Aussies. Very,
Very
very special people. I think.
But we like to learn, and you know, whatever. It's all there. So we're
Yeah.
waiting for you, my friend. We are waiting.
I'm coming down. I'm doing
Don't
a
you
tour.
give me that. Don't you dare give me that.
I just got to get over my last tour experience.
Whatever. You just whatever. Whatever.
I'm just getting back to normal, you know.
2025, love, you're coming. And
2025, all right.
I'll just
You
grab
got
you
it.
by the ear.
Yeah,
So
2025.
let everybody who's listening, tell us if you would like James Van Prague to come to Australia.
Yeah,
And I will
long
sort it for
time.
you.
I'd love to. I might move there this year, so who knows? You know?
I know. Well, that's another conversation.
Well, you got to do your tour first. You're 65
yeah.
and alive. He's got a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
That's my life tour, 65 and alive. And for everybody that's looking and listening, I'm doing a demonstration this Friday. That's the 16th, and that's going to be 6 o'clock California time, Pacific time, and that's on my website, vanprog.com. So I do one a month, and it's very little. I mean, not too many people there, so feel free to grab a ticket. I think like 10 people we have so far.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
And Kellee, you're doing Ask Me Anything on Thursday.
Well, normally I would, but our producer won't be in town.
Our producer,
our producer is very busy.
it's very
so,
busy.
So unfortunately, I will not be live on Thursday. Everybody, will be a repeat, but I will. James and I will be back on Monday because we have another special guest on Monday. James, we
Yes.
have a woman that is a therapist and a medium as well. So that's going to be very interesting.
And I'm doing for everybody. This week is week of love because of Valentine's Day.
Oh yes, talk about that.
So I'm doing it's a week of love, and every day is a different. I'll be on Facebook Live every day doing talking about some aspect of love, and doing card readings, and also in the school with 20% off of my courses, any course. So that's for the week of love, which is all about. Without love, we couldn't do our work.
Well, and today you did self-love.
Self-empowerment, self-love.
Yeah, I thought that was really important.
It's really important. That's what I was talking about. You have to love yourself to be a medium, a confident medium, built to the sense of who you are, and self-love. And how can you love another if you don't love yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Margaret says, what time is that you're going to be doing that this week? Is it noon Pacific time, approximately, or?
Oh, was that me?
Yeah, for you. James.
Oh, for my messages, I believe it is 4. Let me just double check. I think it's 4 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
no, not for Friday. I meant for the
Oh.
week. Every day you're going to be doing.
12 o'clock my time. 12 o'clock Pacific time.
Okay.
Which is 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
Every day.
Wonderful.
I might do it in this room. I might do it in a different room. I'm using my phone with me. I'm going to be doing a lot of. Today I posted a whole thing about me being my chiropractor.
Oh, I saw that.
I like the
love
rainbow
you,
too.
Then you had clothes on. Now look. That was a gift.
Oh my God! Everybody's loving that you are on tonight, Janelle. Everybody's saying that.
Oh, thank you.
Janelle's the best. Janelle's one of the
And
best.
I just love you both. You know that. We have so much fun.
We do. You're the only person I was ever in the ocean with for 3 straight hours.
I know. It's
3 hours.
We did have an ocean
Somewhere in I think it was in Italy, or it was in
Italy.
Greece or Italy. It was Italy. Yeah.
Greece.
3 straight hours.
Greece.
We never
Really?
got out. 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was
I know.
incredible. I know.
Where was that? Greece?
Where
when
was
we
it
were
in Greece?
What
Would
was
have been in
it?
Greece.
We went to that beautiful
That Jackie O place.
Jackie O's.
Oh, the Jackie O place.
Jackie O
Mykonos. Mykonos.
Yeah.
Jackie O.
Anyway, and that's the best part of that conversation, isn't it, Kellee? So we won't go any further.
3 hours in the water. I've never done that in my life.
That's crazy.
I was eating, I think.
Yeah.
No,
and-
you
and
weren't.
other
You were
things,
there.
yeah.
You were
I
there.
was drinking and eating.
Yeah, I've got photos, Evan. I've got photos.
You did. And we were with Tony and Lynn. Tony and Lynn.
They were there. Yes. So,
that was fun.
So anyway, so I'm bringing all these marvelous people into our little community.
It'll be great.
And it's genuine, it's fun, and it's beautiful. We're very lucky.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
JanelleCampbell.com.au, right?
So the thing for people to go to is Spirit Ambassadors International.
Okay.
And I will I thought the link might go up on our the running order there, but also for the free event. Really, that's the most important thing. So that's a separate link. And
so Janelle Campbell will be fine to get to find everything.
If you want, that's fine. But I might put up on your page, on the link where to go for that. But Renee's got it.
Beautiful.
Well, thanks so much, Janelle. I'm so glad you were on tonight.
Thank you
both. Darling.
Thank you, darling.
Thanks, James. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Vic.
See you next
Kellee.
week.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.